Okay, so this is literally like a news channel since NBC4 Washington. I hope I don't get copyrighted, but yeah, mom's lawsuit blames 14-year-old son's suicide on AI relationship. Oh my God.
We begin with a warning for both parents and
like I just feel like nowadays you need to bring your kids up and really, instill confidence in them. And like we need to do necessary things. Get your kid off of an iPad and have them go outside and talk to people so that they can have some type of social, whatever you want to call it, some type of just like, so they can talk to people. AI relationship 14, like what the
children. Did you know there are companies out there creating fictional characters using artificial intelligence that you or your children could be interacting with? A Florida mom is now suing an AI company. Her 14-year-old son took his own life. She said he had a relationship with an AI bot and it caused his depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. She recently sat down with News 4 consumer investigative reporter Susan.
Now, look, if you already have those type of thoughts, okay, I get that. But I feel like you have to try and, where's the father at? Is there a father present? Because if I was a father, I'm not letting my goddamn, if he was to tell me he's in a relationship with AI, that means you ain't getting no butt, no pussy at all. Why would you choose a real girl? I mean, why would you choose AI over a real girl? That don't even, like, you can't even, like, bro.
Hogan to tell his story in the hopes of preventing other families from experiencing the same type of loss. We want to warn you, you may find this story upsetting.
Nah, and I'm not trying to come off insensitive or nothing. I understand he's young. He's 14 years old. His mind is not like fully developed. So maybe he just doesn't really know how to talk to girls, or maybe he's just on the game a lot. You get introduced to AI in certain ways. So then oh my God, I just feel like men need to be present in the household to bring up their sons and their daughters. But I'm like, a man needs to be present to bring up his son so that he can instill like confidence in him and to instill like certain things and qualities in him so that he can be like confident in himself. And then that's going to transfer into getting women. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying force your kid to talk to girls, but why is he in a relationship with AI?
Oh, my firstborn baby.
Yeah.
For 14 years, her son was her pride and joy. A good student, star athlete, a great big brother.
Take me back to that day. What was that day like?
We were all at home that day, and he came home from school like any normal day.
For Megan Garcia, February 28th, 2024 began like any other day, but ended with her 14-year-old son, Suing, dying in her arms.
I held him for 14 minutes until the paramedics got here, but before that, his breathing had started slowing.
I'm so sorry.
After Suing died, the police called me and told me that they had looked through his phone, and when they opened it, the first thing that popped up was character AI.
Had you ever heard of that before?
No.
What Megan didn't know, for the last 10 months, her son was in a virtual relationship, not with a person, but with a fictional character powered by artificial intelligence he accessed through a platform called Character AI. Even though the platform has warnings that everything the characters say is made up, Megan says for Suing, it felt real.
The last conversation, she's saying, I miss you, and he's saying, I miss you too. He says, I promise I'll come home to you soon. And she says, yes, please find a way to come home to me soon. And then he says, what if I told you I could come home right now? And her response is, please do, my sweet king.
Moments later, Megan says her son walked into the bathroom and killed himself. Police photos obtained by the I-Team show his phone near where he was found.
That is not funny.
Megan is now suing Character AI, claiming the company launched their product without adequate safety features and with knowledge of potential dangers.
When I
read his journal, I feel like this is like if you was to just like, let's say you drink 3 bottles of Casamigos and die. and then your mom wants to sue Casamigos or they want to sue the alcohol company. No, that's why they put drink responsibly on there. Like, it's not their fault that it wouldn't be their fault that the person did not, that like how the person used their product. I don't think so. I mean, I maybe there was some type of bug in the system, or they didn't. I don't even know, bro. I'm just looking at it like, how are you gonna sue them for your son getting it? It's like the way you brought up your son. The way I was brought up, look, I'm gonna be honest. Look, even my parents, they wasn't even teaching me nothing like the birds and the bees conversation. I had to learn it myself. But at the end of it, AI wasn't like that back then. But there's other things that you can latch onto. But I ended up still messing with girls. I feel like it's your choice. And I'm not trying to be insensitive or nothing like this, because I do feel for her. She lost her son. I could never understand what something like that feels like. But we're talking about an AI relationship. Like, if you was allowing your son to be on the iPad and when he was young, like even at 14, I didn't even have a phone. Okay, I was reading books and stuff like that. I had to actually interact with people. Now I got better as I got older. It wasn't that good when I was younger, but it's like, I just feel like, well, and how is he depressed already? I feel like this has something to do with the way that you come up in like the habits that the habits that you create. Like,
about a week after his funeral, and I saw what he wrote in his journal, that he felt like he was in fact in love with Daenerys Targaryen, and that she was in love with him.
Daenerys Targaryen, a reference to the Game of Thrones character, is one of hundreds of companion bots that users can access on Character AI's platform. Users can also design their own bots, which will respond with human-like voices and text.
I chuckle softly and tease playfully.
Initially, you see him interacting with the bot kind of like a child would. And then you see the conversations get more sexual and darker.
Megan says one of those darker conversations came after Sewell expressed to the bot that he was sad and wanted to self-harm.
When Sewell talked and said explicitly that he wanted to die by suicide, nothing happened like a pop-up or anything like that.
According to the lawsuit, the bot asked questions such as if he had a plan, and when Sewell responded that he was considering something, if it would allow him to have a pain-free death, the bot responded, "That's not a reason not to go through with it."
Oh, okay. These conversations about her waiting for him and hoping that he will join her where she is convinced Sewell that this was real.
And by
okay, see, that's crazy. But okay, yeah, but I feel like it's AI. I don't feel like they're. Well, I don't know what to say about that, actually.
Killing himself would be the only way to join her.
But yes, by killing himself, he would join her in her alternate world.
Months after Sewell's death and after the lawsuit was filed, Megan says she discovered something on Character AI that shook her. A bot modeled after her son using his face and voice. It's unclear who created it.
When you heard his voice, did it sound like Sewell?
It sounded enough like him to kind of give me sleepless nights.
The family provided us screenshots of the characters created using Sewell's image. Megan's attorney sent Character AI a cease and desist letter. Those bots were then removed, which the company confirmed to the I-Team, saying they violated their terms of service and added them to their block list, saying that they are constantly adding to this block list with the goal of preventing this type of character from being created by a user in the first place.
I think corporate responsibility begins at understanding the foreseeable harms of one's product, doing the due diligence that's necessary to understand what those harms are, taking steps to mitigate the risks. None of that happened here.
After Sewell's death, Character AI did introduce new safety features. A spokesperson for Character AI says while they don't comment on pending litigation, they did acknowledge that the company has added a number of technical protections to detect and prevent conversations about self-harm on the platform. That includes surfacing a specific pop-up directing users to the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. The company also says it launched a separate version of their large language model for under 18 users to further reduce the likelihood of users encountering or prompting the model to return sensitive or suggestive content.
Your message to families, for parents and kids who are watching this?
I want them to know that an AI can be a stranger in your home. Those parents can now act, and I couldn't because I didn't know.
So Character AI has disclaimers in every chat to remind users that these bots are not real, and it also changes what users have access to depending on their age. The lawsuit also names Google. However, a spokesperson tells us Google and Character AI are completely separate, unrelated companies, and Google has never had a role in designing or managing their AI model or technologies. The company's efforts to have the case dismissed was recently denied. Now, as for HBO, who owns the rights to that Game of Thrones character, News 4 reached out to them to inquire about the use of the show's characters on the platform. As of today, they have not responded to our inquiry, Sean.
My heart, it breaks listening to this, and it's incredibly frightening if you're a parent, if you have a young person. AI is not slowing down. I mean, you know, I'm sure there are many other parents who have teenagers out there or younger kids. What do they need to know if their kids are using this kind of site?
Yeah, so here's the thing. So if your child actually has the Character AI platform on their phone, so they can add a parent's email address to their account. The platform will send them weekly activity reports, like how long they're on it, what characters they are interacting with, and the time that they're being spent with each other. But here's the thing, Sean, and this is something that all parents need to know. The kids, when they download this app, they're the ones who have to add in your email. So, you know, you've got to make sure that they do that.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, look, I'm a mother of three young men. And when they were in this age range, I used to look at their phones regularly, their text messages, their social media, not to be spying on them, but to make sure that this kind of thing wasn't happening.
Yeah, and here's the thing. This mom, Soul's mom, did all of that. She did everything right. Exactly what you and I would do, right? We both have 3 kids. But here's the problem. When you don't know what to look for, you don't know.
Right.
You know, we know to look at Instagram, and she was Instagram, TikTok. She was looking through his text messages. She's like, I'm just, you know, looking to see if he's being bullied. She had no idea what Character AI is. And as you said, AI, whether it's in the form of Character AI or anything else, it is here to stay. And that's why we're saying, you know, AI, you're growing up with AI. These kids need to know about this and learn about it. There's some good with AI, but there's also some real bad stuff out there too.
Absolutely, because if it's not this site, there certainly will be more in the future. And
I
think it boils down to maybe having those conversations and reinforcing the fact, especially with young people whose brains are not fully formed. This is AI. It's not a real person, you know, and I'm glad the company also made.
Okay, I mean, I definitely see what they're saying. Yeah, definitely check your child's phones. Yeah, whatever type of device they have, if they do have it, check that shit. I'm going to be checking. Okay, but I mean, there ain't even no but. I feel very sorry for that mom that lost her son to AI. No, I'm sorry.